as I mentioned before we got on stage, I want this session to be more like a conversation. So let's start with you, because London Lab, accelerated by Facebook. Can you tell us a bit about that and what you do?
For sure.
What are you offering to entrepreneurs and whatever?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for having me. So London Lab is Facebook's first in-house accelerator program that we started just earlier this year in December. It was a lab, as the name says. As you know, the support ecosystem for startups, especially in the UK, is enormous. I think I was reading some stats, and there are over 160 accelerators. Andy, maybe you would know.
Oh, 160 accelerators in UK.
We've got
in London alone, I think.
Oh.
So there is definitely, like, the support ecosystem from investors to incubators to accelerators is incredible. So back last year, we thought about, how can Facebook best support startups in a way that's meaningful, in a way that's different, in a way that's unique and kind of adds to the existing ecosystem and kind of doesn't just build another accelerator. Which is why we launched London Lab, and it's essentially an in-house program, and it's focused basically on the things that Facebook is inherently good at as a company. So things like product management, data science, marketing, obviously growth, and so on. And the idea is that we brought 7 startups on the premise or on the criteria that they're all building communities through technology, which obviously aligns very closely with Facebook's mission around giving people the power to build community. So the 7 startups, we had anyone from Mush, which is an app that connects local mothers to each other, to an app called Olio, you might have heard of, that allows people to reduce food waste by giving away the foods to their local neighbors and so on. And so back to the program, it is very much focused on using the talent that we have in our Facebook office in London, which is just under 1,000 people now, and it's growing very fast. So we've built a mentorship program from our employees. So our best engineers, our best product managers, our best designers, our best marketeers are investing over the 12-week program into each of the startups and mentoring them throughout. And they also get access to the office space, so they come in through the same entrance as the Facebook employees and get the full experience. So we've just finished our first cohort just last week, and it's been an amazing experience. The accelerator is equity free, and we are not investing in the companies, but what we really want to do is just really be complementary and support.
And you don't get anything from the company?
No.
Yep.
So our idea is just to really support the tech ecosystem in the UK and give back our time and knowledge and the experience that we have in our office.
And you only accept companies based in UK?
Yeah, so it's actually a part of a global network of tech hubs that we're starting to build. So the idea is to contribute to the local ecosystem that Facebook is locally a part of, but we also have a tech hub called Startup Garage at Station F in Paris. We just announced a tech hub in Nigeria last week, so we're actually investing in similar hubs across the world, but kind of trying to respond to the local needs. So for example, in India, it's a VR and AR lab. In South Korea, we're really focusing on innovation and new tech like AI and so on. So we're really trying to be local with a global approach.
Cool, sounds good. And I learned more because before this, actually, quite a long time, I never heard about this program, but a couple of weeks ago I learned that. I'm glad that you're sharing this with us now.
Yeah.
So Facebook is a tech company and running its own accelerator. And now we have another company running its own accelerator. And it's a big company from Turkey. İşbank is the biggest bank in Turkey. And you have your own accelerator called WorkUp.
Yeah.
So maybe you can, and we have a couple of startups from WorkUp today.
Most of them.
And some of them were pitching on stage. Maybe you can tell us more about it.
Okay, so WorkUp is 1 year old right now. We had our second batch graduated 2-3 weeks ago. And when we started WorkUp, our main aim was actually 2 main aims. One was to develop the Turkish ecosystem in Turkey because it's rather young and a small ecosystem right now. And the idea behind that was, with digitalization, banking is changing. We have a lot of challenges facing us, and to be powerful in this new era, we need new partners to create us a competitive advantage, and startups are a main source to get this, because we can't compete with our prices right now, we can't compete with our branch decorations, whatever. So what we need to find something valuable, a new value proposition, and startups are the correct answer for us, in our opinion. So we get into the market and try to look for partners, and we saw that, okay, we can add value to this ecosystem while we're trying to get something from it. So WorkUp started this way. Right now we are not only looking for fintechs, but all verticals, technology-based business models, and the right teams to execute this. On the flip side, we have this perk that since the bank, as an old corporate, is working closely with startups, we have this culture clash, and we can take the good parts from the startup world to the bank, and then we also teach the startups how to work with corporates, what to do, what not to do. So it works both ways for us, and we are happy with what we've achieved so far. Of course, we can do more. We have plans to build on what we have right now. It's really exciting to see that you can create a difference in this ecosystem, where it takes really long to see a concrete result in banking in any of the projects. But with WorkUp, everything is so fast. Everything gets the fruit so fast. So it's really fulfilling for us also.
And same as Facebook, you don't get any equity or anything.
No,
you are doing this for good.
Yeah, we do this for good. At the bank, we provide access to our customer base, to the startups. We design campaigns, for example, to introduce their products to our customers. We have more than 7 million digital customers. Our credit card users are also a good base. So instead of giving them money to use for their marketing efforts, we do the marketing for them, and it creates a huge impact in a very short amount of time. And also it increases our customers' satisfaction also, because they have this new product which also serves them very good. And since the startup, the service also makes them happy, they also have repeat customers coming back to them.
Cool. So I'm going to get to you in a minute. First of all, I'm going to talk to Andy, because you are my good friend, so you can wait there for a while.
Sure.
Just kidding, because I'm going to ask you different questions. So Startup Bootcamp.
Startup Bootcamp.
You are running in like 18 different countries, I guess.
We've grown a lot, yeah.
I mean, how many programs you have? You tell me.
So first, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
It's amazing. Webrazzi has been a supporter of Startup Bootcamp for 5 years now. And we connected, during my first trip to Istanbul. So we've had a program in Istanbul for 4 years. The same team there that started Starters Hub just launched a location in San Francisco also, because we found a lot of our Turkish companies wanted to go right to the Bay Area to start companies, along with London, where a lot of companies did move as well. So today Startup Bootcamp has 22 programs or offices in about 18 countries. We have a variety of different models. The core one is a 3-month accelerator program. We also have a 6-month scale program, hence our San Francisco program. And then we have a very much more focused 2-week one that we're going to launch in the next few weeks, specifically to help our corporate partners. And if you remember, kind of from when we first met 4 or 5 years ago, it was just simply, let's help startups in general. And I think the industry has gone to a lot of big companies getting involved. And to be very honest, I think startups have a difficulty still working with big companies. And they're confused sometimes, and they don't know which ones to work with or how to work with them. So we try to make that process easy. And we're iterating through our model to figure out how. Currently, we have 150 corporate partners around the world, interesting enough. And most of our programs have anywhere between 5 and 20 corporates that are trying to collaborate with the startups. So I guess you'd say we're trying to facilitate that a little bit better, and trying to figure out, is it better to have a very intense few weeks where we get a lot of executives in and match them with startups, or is it better to have 6 months where they meet maybe every month for a couple of hours and catch up, or is a year better? We're not really sure at this point. What I do know is a lot of big companies are starting to work with startups. What we haven't seen as much as we'd like is that true global rollout to take advantage of the large scale, the hundreds or thousands of retail operations they might have. So it's something that we focus a lot on.
Yeah. So you can wait a little more. I'll come to you, don't worry.
Of course.
London Lab, in my understanding, helps startups in terms of engineering and maybe something Facebook can help them with. So, and Startup Bootcamp is mostly focused on the business side, I think. WorkUp is also doing that in Turkey, but mostly business. Is that right? Or can you add something else? So what are you really offering, just quickly? Is something that, am I right? That's like your side is mostly engineering, your side is mostly business. What else do you add to startups? For example, if a startup is accepted in your programs, what is like one big impact you are really doing for the startups? What's that?
At least from a Startup Bootcamp perspective, one of our core beliefs is that a startup shouldn't have to raise external equity. And most companies, they think that's the only way to do it. You have a small little team, maybe you've launched a product, you beg angels to give you
you don't want startups to raise funding.
I think it's the natural route, but I don't think it's the only route. I think revenue is another very good route that a lot of startups don't necessarily think about early enough. And it's a lot of times, especially if you're B2B or enterprise focused, it's because it's hard to get revenue from big companies. So I think we're trying to give another route. Maybe you can raise some money from angels, but do you have to skip right to a VC round within a year, which is traditional? Well, maybe not. Maybe you can get a couple $100K in revenue and postpone that and save some of your equity and have some more traction. So one of our goals is simply to facilitate that a little bit better. Most of our teams already have engineering in place. They have a product launch. They could certainly use the help of somebody like Facebook or Microsoft. But our core competency is making those business connections that result in actual revenue.
Yeah, equally for us, as I said, we tried to be very complementary to the kind of a lot of brilliant programs like Startup Bootcamp, Founders Factory, and Techstars, and so on. But what we've heard is that the program becomes really valuable when it's really tailored to an individual startup. And so that's what we really tried to focus on. And so for us, the biggest value is mentorship, the one-to-one mentorship. And as I said, like Facebook brings its own perspective, and Facebook was also once a startup, and so we tried to kind of build it on that premise where if you work with the best engineering talent, if you work with the best product managers, if you work with people who use machine learning in their day jobs to build Facebook newsfeed, they can probably, really help you figure out like the AI platform that you are building as a startup, for example. So we really tried to focus on that personal element and trying to shift goals for a particular startup. Our program is very short, so it's 3 months. So we tried to make it as targeted as possible.
It's not really short, it's good.
Well, it's snappy, I guess. Let's put it this way. And I know you still haven't introduced yourself, so...
He's going to be quiet.
I'm going.
The reason I'm keeping you there is after I ask
Grand
all
finale.
questions, you will score it, okay? You're going to be scoring the goal at the end because I'm going to ask you... Yeah, you're going to be the judge, yeah?
Yeah, so the bottom line is, I think that's where it's, or at least like the general accelerator space is going. It is becoming more tailored, and like you said, it's about the network, but it's also about the community that you build inside a program. So alumni networks are,
You're right.
like even more important than the actual program itself.
Agreed.
Yeah, I can also state networks. We have some of the best mentors in Turkey. They have their own networks, and that they can tailor their advices to the startup. We as a physical space, we use Collective House, which is one of the best co-working spaces in Turkey, and it's the heart of the entrepreneurship ecosystem. So a lot of people who you would want to talk in Turkey are always in Collective House or often coming and going there. So we also provide access to that network. And as I said before, we have the access to network of İşbank, the subsidiaries, and our customers. Mm-hmm. So that's the whole network of networks is what the startups get from World Cup.
So I want you to promise me that if you, after today, if you start a program in a corporation with Facebook in Istanbul, or if you do something with Staff Bootcamp, like World Cup Staff Bootcamp program or something like that in London, you're gonna thank me and credit me, okay? Yeah, promise?
Get royalty.
Because while I was talking to you, I felt like, why not? London Lab in Istanbul in cooperation with like İşbank, or World Cup program with Staff Bootcamp in London, because he said that like Turkish companies want to go to US or they want to come to London. If you do something like that, I just want a thank you note from you, okay?
Yes.
Maybe some flowers, some chocolate.
We heard you like food.
We'll have a note.
Maybe a check with something, yeah.
So
it's your turn now. So Barış is my good friend, as you can understand, and Barış is founder of Fitwell, and he was in Turkey, then came to London. You tell us. You start with an accelerator, I think Microsoft accelerator.
Yeah, exactly. So we started in 2014. I'm the founder of Fitwell. Fitwell is an AI-powered fitness coaching technology company. We quickly became one of the most popular health and fitness apps in Turkey first, but our vision was always global. So it's not always easy to expand worldwide from Turkey as a base. So when the opportunity to actually utilize the Microsoft Accelerator came up, and we were the first Turkish startup to be actually accepted to the program, we gladly accepted, and it was very valuable for us because it first brought us to London to see the ecosystem, to network with people, but also we were going more and more into AI space, so it also helped us get exposed to evangelists and engineering talent in Microsoft to clarify our thoughts in terms of what we want to build with AI. And then I met with Brent Hoberman, which is the founder of lastminute.com, made.com. He's a super successful entrepreneur himself, and he talked about this new accelerator program that they were launching called Founders Factory. It was around, I think, 2 years ago now. So he mentioned that they do this bespoke program, which was quite fresh, backed by corporates. So we thought it would be interesting. So we got accepted to that program. It's a 6-month program. The key difference was it was really actually a bespoke program. So they have like 60 people from growth talent to AI, etc., that work with the individual startup. And then we decided London is a great space to be to grow our business forward. So we actually moved our headquarters here. We still have an engineering base in Istanbul, but we also have a remote team worldwide now from Canada, Russia, Latvia, now guys joining us from Portugal, Paris, Amsterdam, so we are becoming more and more remote. But you can say I'm kind of like a veteran of the accelerator experience, being through 2 of them in a row. And I had different experiences from both of the accelerator programs.
And you received funding,
yes.
External funding. And was your accelerator, like in that time, I think it was Microsoft, were they really helpful for you to raise money? Or, I mean, do you think like accelerators is important for raising money or something? Because Andy said they're trying to, not to make you raise money.
At least give another route, right?
Not like that.
It's a good angle. Obviously, equity is expensive for the entrepreneur, but you always need capital or you need revenue. Accelerators could be helpful. It's not like a done deal. they work with you and try to make you raise money. And Founders Factory have been very helpful. And Microsoft Experience also helped us raise more money. So we have raised around 1.1 million pounds altogether so far. And some of that we can attribute to our relationship with the accelerator, because obviously it helped us with our strategy, our business plan, as well as we became a more metrics and result-driven company because of that experience. But we cannot specifically say that it was a silver bullet that made us raise the money itself. So it's not kind of like a cookie cutter approach in which when you go through an accelerator, you'll automatically get money. Obviously, I wish Andy was right in all cases. I'm sure it's the case for some companies. But after you have the accelerator experience, if you can work with Işbank, Facebook, etc., or Microsoft, and have huge revenues and you don't have to raise, that would be the ideal case. But to answer your question, yes, it was helpful, but it wasn't a silver bullet.
Yeah, cool. I think it was a good panel. I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it as well.
It's finished already?
See, 20 minutes. I told you would score it at the end.
Okay.
You did the shot for the goal. Yeah? Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so
thank
much.
you for coming here and being with us. Thank you.